America is full of hundreds of thousands of people who've come from difficult backgrounds with every conceivable type of handicap and liability, but have gone on to build wonderful lives for themselves. Often, people around them ascribe their good fortunes to luck. But if you talk to these people and you trace their stories from where they began to where they are now, you will find that luck had nothing to do with their success, and it has nothing to do with yours. The law of cause and effect cuts in both directions. It also says that if there's an effect in your life, such as lack of money, problems in your relationships, an unsatisfying job or career, or any other difficulty, you can trace that effect back to the things that you have done to cause it, and by removing the causes, you can begin to remove the effects, sometimes as quickly as overnight. In its simplest terms, successful, happy, healthy, prosperous people are those who have discovered the laws that govern our lives and have designed their lives so that they are in harmony with those laws. As a result, they experience far more joy and satisfaction and accomplish far more in a few years than the average person does in a lifetime. You've heard it said in poker that the winners laugh and tell jokes while the losers say, "Shut up and deal." In the world around you, the winners are busy and actively working toward achieving their goals, while the average people are putting in as little as they can and hoping that something good will come out of it. Winners always ascribe their success to hard work and application. Mediocre people always ascribe their failures to bad luck. Perhaps the most important corollary of the law of cause and effect is this: thoughts are causes, and conditions are effects. Your mind is the most powerful force in your universe. As Emerson said, a man becomes what he thinks about most of the time. You are where you are and what you are because of your habitual ways of thinking. Your thoughts are creative, and they ultimately create your reality. So if you change your thinking, you change your life. The greatest thinkers of all time, going back to the earliest recorded writings of the earliest religions, the earliest philosophers and metaphysical schools, have all emphasized the power of the human mind to shape individual destiny. Another version of the law of cause and effect is the law of action and reaction. First propounded and explained by Sir Isaac Newton, this law states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Put another way, actions have consequences. And this is important. At the beginning, you can decide upon the action. You can control it. But once you have launched a particular action, the consequences are often out of your hands. Once you've done or said a particular thing, the consequences take on a power and a force of their own. This is why all successful people tend to be very thoughtful about what they say and do, and unsuccessful people tend to be thoughtless, even careless about their statements or behaviors. The key to your enjoying more of what people call luck is for you to engage in more of the actions that are more likely to bring about the consequences that you desire. At the same time, you must consciously decide to avoid those actions that will not bring about the consequences you desire, or even worse, will bring about consequences that you don't want. If you're in sales, the actions of prospecting, presenting, following up, and working continuously to cultivate leads and referrals will ultimately bring about the consequences of sales success, higher income, personal pride, and greater satisfaction from your career. The more of these actions you engage in, the more pleasurable consequences you will enjoy. On the other hand, the fewer of these actions you engage in, the less often you will enjoy those consequences that you want so much. Another restatement of the law of cause and effect is the law of sowing and reaping. This law says that whatsoever a man soweth, that also shall he reap. It says that whatever you put in, you get out. It says that whatever you are reaping today is a result of what you have sown in the past. The laws of cause and effect, action and reaction, sowing and reaping are timeless truths, universal principles that have existed since the beginning of man on this earth. All success, happiness, and high achievement comes from organizing your life in conformance with these timeless principles. When you do, you'll achieve satisfaction and enjoyment at levels seldom experienced by the average person. And of course, people will start to refer to you as lucky. The law of probabilities is a critical factor in explaining luck. This law says that for every event, there is a probability of that event occurring under certain circumstances. This law simply states that events happen in your life with a logical, systematic regularity. For example, if you flip a coin, it will come down heads 50% of the time and tails 50% of the time. The probability of a head or a tail is 50%, no matter how many times you flip the coin. You may flip the same coin 5,000 times, and on every flip of the coin, the probabilities remain 50% heads, 50% tails. In order to enjoy more luck in your life, your primary job is to increase the probabilities of success in every area that's important to you. Here's an example. Imagine a person who has had too much to drink and who can barely stand up in a dimly lit room with a dartboard on the wall 30 or 40 feet away. This person has an endless supply of darts to throw at the dartboard. This individual begins throwing the darts in a darkened room a long distance away, and with no knowledge or experience of dart throwing, not particularly clear-eyed or alert. Here's the question. What are the odds that this person will hit the dartboard? Your answer has to be that the odds are not particularly good. But you will also have to admit that in all probability, if he throws enough darts in the direction of the board that he can barely see, sooner or later, he will eventually hit the dartboard. And now here's the key question. What is the likelihood that this individual will hit a bullseye? And your answer has to be that if this person throws enough darts, if he stands there long enough and learns to adjust his aim over time, and he keeps on throwing darts endlessly, he will eventually hit a bullseye. This is one of the key lessons of life. No matter who you are, or what situation you're starting from, or what situation you find yourself in, if you try enough times and learn from every try and continue to persist over and over, aiming at a goal or a target that's important to you, you must and will eventually hit a bullseye. And it's not a matter of luck. It's simply a matter of probabilities. Now imagine that you took this same person, cold sober, and gave him an advanced course in dart throwing by a professional dart player. You then put this person 12 to 15 feet from the dartboard in a well-lit room. You gave this person a large supply of beautifully crafted, highly accurate darts, and this person thoughtfully and deliberately threw each dart, carefully adjusting his aim dart by dart as he threw toward the bullseye. What would happen? The answer is that by greatly increasing all of the controllable factors, knowledge, skill, lighting conditions, the level of alertness of the dart thrower, the clarity of the target, and the distance to the dartboard, you would dramatically increase the probabilities that this individual would hit a bullseye far sooner than the first person in the darkened room throwing from a distance. By examining every part of the process of achieving the goals that are most important to you, and by taking each one of them into consideration and improving them as much as possible, you can dramatically increase the probabilities of achieving the success that you desire, whatever it may be. If you want to be successful in any field, and you're absolutely clear in writing what success means to you, you are much more likely to attain it. If you then study thoroughly and apply yourself to develop the knowledge and skill necessary to excel in that field, you will increase your probabilities of success. If you associate with the right people, manage yourself and your time extremely well, move quickly when opportunity presents itself, persevere in the face of obstacles, and you are willing to take intelligent risks to accelerate your progress towards your goal, you will put yourself on the side of the angels. You will improve all of the possible probabilities in your favor. You will achieve the same level of success in 1 or 2 years that other people may not achieve in 10 or 20 years of less focused, less directed behavior. And it's not a matter of luck. The law of averages is another luck factor. It says that, although you cannot predict which one of a series of events will be successful, by the law of averages you know that by doing a certain thing a certain number of times, you will achieve your goal. For example, a woman arrives at an important event in a beautiful dress. It fits perfectly. The colors are perfectly matched to her skin tones and her hair. It flatters her in every way. She looks terrific. A friend asks her, "Where did you get that lovely dress?" She says that, "I wanted to look my very best for this function, so I went out and I shopped until I finally found the ideal dress." Her friend says, "Well, you sure were lucky to have found such an ideal dress for this event." Now, the fact of the matter is that this woman sat down and thought clearly about the ideal dress for her for this upcoming party. She thought through her experience with other clothes, colors, and fabrics. She gathered information by reading fashion magazines and looking in the newspapers at the fashion ads. She phoned around to several stores to find out what they had in stock and in what sizes. She eventually began a personal search and visited store after store, trying on various dresses and comparing them with her goal and her experiences. Eventually, well along in the process, she found a particular boutique in a distant shopping center that had exactly the right dress in exactly the right color and size with exactly the right cut for her. Luck had nothing to do with this selection. What she did was to be perfectly clear about what she wanted, do her research thoroughly, use the telephone to save traveling time, and then visit numerous places before she finally found exactly what she was looking for. The likelihood of her finding the ideal dress in any one store might have been low, but the law of averages said that if she looked in enough stores with a clear idea of what she wanted, she would eventually find exactly what she was looking for. And if luck entered into the equation at all, it played only a small role.